Admiral Horatio Nelson is often regarded as one of the greatest naval commanders in history. His bold strategies and inspiring leadership during the Napoleonic Wars, particularly the French Revolutionary Wars, solidified his legacy as a national hero in Britain. This article explores the pivotal battles fought by Nelson, focusing on the Battle of the Nile, his approach to naval warfare, and the impact of his victories on British naval power. The context of the Napoleonic Wars. The Napoleonic Wars were a series of conflicts involving Napoleon Bonaparte's French Empire and a range of opposing coalitions. The wars began in 1799 and lasted until 1815, with various shifting alliances among European powers. The British Royal Navy played a crucial role in these conflicts, as Britain sought to maintain its dominance at sea while facing the threat of French expansionism. In 1792, the French Revolution marked the beginning of a tumultuous period in European history. The upheaval led to extensive conflict, both on land and at sea. Britain, unable to challenge France effectively on land, focused its efforts on naval dominance, leading to the emergence of formidable naval commanders like Horatio Nelson. Admiral Horatio Nelson, a brief biography. Horatio Nelson was born on September 29, 1758, in Norfolk, England. He joined the Royal Navy at a young age and quickly rose through the ranks due to his exceptional skills and daring tactics. Nelson became known for his aggressive approach to naval warfare, often involving taking risks that other commanders would avoid. His early career included notable engagements, such as the Battle of Cape St. Vincent in 1797, where he demonstrated his tactical brilliance. However, it was the Battle of the Nile in 1798 that would cement his reputation as a naval hero. The prelude to the Battle of the Nile. By 1798, France had gained significant victories in Europe, and Napoleon Bonaparte aimed to weaken British influence by launching an expedition to conquer Egypt. This strategic move threatened British trade routes and interests in the Mediterranean. Nelson, commanding a fleet in the Mediterranean, was tasked with intercepting the French forces. After several gales and miscommunications, Nelson learned that the French fleet had reached Egypt and was anchored in Abu Tir Bay. Understanding the situation's urgency, he quickly set sail to engage the enemy, determined to prevent the French from establishing a stronghold in the region. Strategic planning for the battle. As Nelson prepared for battle, he faced a formidable opponent in Admiral François-Paul Louis Dauder, who commanded the French fleet. Dauder's fleet consisted of 13 ships of the line and 4 frigates, while Nelson had 13 ships of the line and a handful of smaller vessels. The odds were closely matched, but Nelson's reputation for bold tactics gave him an advantage. Nelson devised a daring plan for a night attack, aiming to exploit the French fleet's defensive posture. He intended to approach the French line from the seaward side, taking advantage of the winds and the element of surprise. This strategy reflected Nelson's understanding of both his strengths and the weaknesses of his adversary. The Battle of the Nile, August 1st, 1798. The battle commenced on the evening of August 1st, 1798. Nelson's fleet approached with full sails, and as they neared the French line, the engagement began. The British ships opened fire, and the battle quickly escalated into a fierce exchange. Nelson's ships maneuvered with precision, targeting specific French vessels while minimizing their exposure to enemy fire. One of the critical moments of the battle occurred when Captain Foley of HMS Goliath made a bold decision to exploit a gap in the French line. This move allowed the British ships to attack from both sides, catching the French off guard. The ensuing chaos severely hindered the French response, leading to significant casualties among their ranks. The turning point. As the battle raged on, Nelson himself was wounded by a splinter during the fighting. Despite his injury, he returned to command, demonstrating his resilience and commitment to victory. The French flagship L'Orient became a focal point of the battle. After taking heavy fire, it eventually exploded in a catastrophic blast, marking a turning point in the conflict. The destruction of the Orient not only decimated the French forces, but also symbolized the shift in naval power in the Mediterranean. The remaining French ships struggled to maintain cohesion as they faced relentless attacks from the British fleet. The aftermath of the battle. The Battle of the Nile concluded with a resounding British victory. The French fleet suffered devastating losses, with many ships captured or destroyed. Nelson's tactics and leadership had effectively crippled the French naval presence in the region, ensuring British dominance at sea. Following the battle, Nelson was celebrated as a national hero. He received numerous accolades, including the title of Baron Nelson of the Nile, and his victory inspired a renewed confidence in British naval power. The outcome of the battle had significant repercussions, leading to the surrender of French forces in Egypt and bolstering British influence in the Mediterranean. Legacy of Nelson's battles. Admiral Horatio Nelson's battles, particularly the Battle of the Nile, reshaped the course of naval warfare and established a legacy that endures to this day. His innovative tactics and fearless leadership set a precedent for future naval commanders and demonstrated the importance of adaptability in the face of adversity. Nelson's victories not only secured British naval supremacy, but also inspired future generations of sailors and military leaders. His approach to warfare emphasized the importance of decisive action, strategic planning, and an unwavering commitment to one's objectives. Conclusion. The story of Admiral Horatio Nelson and his battles serves as a reminder of the complexities of warfare and the impact of individual leadership on the outcome of conflicts. His legacy continues to be celebrated in naval history, and the lessons learned from his engagements remain relevant in military strategy today. As we reflect on Nelson's remarkable career, we recognize the enduring significance of his contributions to British naval history and the broader narrative of the Napoleonic Wars. His battles, particularly the pivotal victory at the Nile, stand as testaments to the power of courage, innovation, and leadership in the face of overwhelming odds.